Let's talk about the benefit of iodine along with magnesium. And there's a synergy that happens. Think of someone that you love being around that just helps you be more of you. That's what benefit magnesium and iodine do together. Now, my name's Kristen. I'm the founder of Living the Good Life Naturally. I'm a magnesium advocate of determining the pathway that you're on for magnesium. Do you just want it for relaxation or do you want therapeutic benefits? And I talk about that a lot. Today, I want to dive into the benefit and the synergy that you get with iodine and magnesium. So, one of the things that we just simply must talk about is the fact that we have receptor sites all over our body. We have pain receptor sites, we have hormone receptor sites, and those receptors, we have insulin. mm, Sorry about that. We have insulin receptor sites. And sometimes it's not a matter of not having the hormone, it's that the receptor site is not working. When you bring your magnesium and you add your iodine, if appropriate for you, because remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing, I'm not prescribing. We're just having conversations, you and I, so that you can start asking maybe some different questions of your board of directors. I think everyone should have a board of directors that I have some that are Western, I have some that are holistic, I have some that are functional medicine, and I pull those people together and they're on my board of directors to help me to stay as healthy as possible. And so I don't know who's on your board of directors, but that's who you need to run iodine by if it's appropriate for you. For example, if you're in the beginning stages of healing Hashimoto's, the beginning and middle, iodine will make it worse. But if you're at the end, you've really seen some improvement, iodine can just help that go faster. And so it's very important with iodine that you understand how you're using it, you know where your body's at, and that you're moving forward slowly. There are two pathways with iodine. There is the pathway of your skin and the pathway orally. Now, I've talked about the synergy that happens between magnesium and iodine, and I don't see it happening when you're just taking the pathway of your skin. But the pathway of your skin is the easiest way to start adding iodine. And you don't have to set your body up to protect it, to make sure you're not letting go of other things that are hard on your thyroid. You just can start putting it on your skin. And it increases cellular renewal, it makes your skin appear smoother. It um, helps the acid mantle on your skin. It helps to slow down tumors, the growth of tumors and fibroid cysts and things like that. So it is really powerful on your skin. It's when you set your body up to take it orally and you've got your magnesium levels and you're taking your iodine orally, that's when I see big changes in people, big changes, because all of a sudden your receptor sites are being cleaned out and they're picking the things up from your body more efficiently. And so everything starts working better. Let's talk about the things that you need before you take iodine orally. One of those is you need to be properly hydrated. Like saying that, I'm just going to take a quick little drink because my mouth is so dry. You need to have a system of how you get the water in your body every day that works for you. And then we need selenium. Selenium is such an important component for your thyroid. And it's hard to get from a pill. It doesn't work as well, nearly as well from a pill. I know, let's rephrase that. doesn't work hardly, doesn't work very well from a pill. And so the best food source for selenium are raw Brazil nuts. Is anyone that's on? Do you guys take raw Brazil nuts? I would love to know if you have added raw Brazil nuts to your routine. I was talking a little bit earlier, and I take them every day with my lunch. I keep them in the fridge. I always buy them from a local health food store. I don't buy them online because heat actually decreases selenium. And when you're buying it from a health food store, it's been brought over in a refrigerated truck with the other foods in the health food store. So typically, you can find higher quality Brazil nuts in the health food store. And I always want it refrigerated. I don't want to just buy them. Now, I'm a Trader Joe's girl. I love a couple things at Trader Joe's. I won't buy my Brazil nuts there because they're not refrigerated. And the longer they sit there, the more selenium they lose. And that's why I'm eating raw Brazil nuts every day at lunch, is for the selenium. And so if if they're not taken care of how they should be, you're not getting that selenium. So I go to a health food store that actually has them in the refrigerated case. They recognize, oh, these Brazil nuts need to be taken care of, because once they go rancid, that selenium is gone. And the longer and more heat they stay in, the less selenium they have. So find a good source locally to you for your Brazil nuts. The next thing we need to have in place is salt intake. And nobody can tell you how much salt you need. It depends on how you eat. If you eat a lot of canned foods, then you're probably not going to be able to take in a lot of good salt because you're getting that sodium from canned foods. If you have blood pressure issues, that will dictate your salt intake. If you're on certain medications, that might dictate your salt intake. So no one can tell you how much salt you need. Salt is such an important nutrient to help run your adrenals. Your adrenals run off of potassium and salt. And so making sure that you're getting adequate salt for you. How much my husband takes every day and how much I take every day are day and night difference. And so that's one of those journeys you need to walk down that pathway and figure out, this is my salt intake. No one can tell you that. You can only determine that by experimenting and making some educated estimates over, am I on medications? Do I eat a lot of canned food? Those types of things to help you determine how much you need to take. And then the next thing that needs to be in place is acerola cherry powder. And we want acerola that's been grown properly. We don't want it to be a row crop because it won't have the ultimate nutrients. The beautiful thing about plants is when you have diversity in your plants, when they're growing, they share and shuttle nutrients back and forth. And versus a plant that is just grown to harvest to sell, that there's hundreds in a row. And so the acerola that I bring in for living the good life naturally has been grown in a permaculture system. My husband loves his permaculture as much as I love magnesium, and the two things really do go hand in hand. And so acerola that's grown correctly with lots of varying plants around it, so it's very nutrient rich, and it shuttled those nutrients back and forth and shared, oh gosh, I have comments here, and shared those nutrients. That needs to be in place also. And then you might have heard me talk about this one before, magnesium. So I did not do a good job of talking and looking at comments and clicking the right button on this system that I use. So let's go ahead and hit these. Lisa, it's so nice to see your name. Oh, and your cute picture there. So how do you know how much iodine to take? I would start with my skin, because your skin, you're not going to have the downside of taking too much iodine through your skin. So start with your skin and give your skin the benefits that it needs from iodine. And then how much iodine you need is very individual. I can't tell you, but I can tell you some things to do. And that is, when you start your iodine, use an iodine that has balanced energy. Lugol's has front end energy and is weak at the back. And I want that balanced energy. I can't tell you how many people have used Lugol's and it crashes their thyroid because it just um it's too much at the beginning and not enough at the end. So I want that balanced energy. And then I don't want my iodine in alcohol, because alcohol degrades the quality of the iodine. It breaks it down. And so I store mine. I keep a backstock of iodine, and I don't want it degrading on my shelf. And so I worked with a lab that created that beautiful balanced iodine for me, and they did it in glycerin. Now, the first couple batches, I was like, oh, this is so sticky, because I want an iodine I can use on my skin and orally. And it was just so sticky. And so I went back and said, this is great orally, but I want the versatility of one type of iodine to use for both pathways. And so they changed the timing of when they added the glycerin to the iodine, and that made all the difference in the world. Now you can still feel a little bit of the glycerin, so it doesn't just run out like alcohol, but you're getting the full benefit of the complete iodine, not iodine that's been broken down by alcohol. So there is that little bit of glycerin. And so we've talked about the magnesium, we've talked about really good hydration, we've talked about selenium from Brazil nuts, we've talked about the copper core that of acerola cherry that you need. And those things need to be in place before you even start taking oral iodine. And when you do start taking oral iodine, and remember, we're going to draw this beautiful boundary right here, that I'm not a doctor. You need to run it by your medical board of directors. When you do start taking iodine, 1 drop a month is all that you take. You don't do more than a drop at a time. And it's something I take every day. Iodine increases brain function, cognitive function. It boosts thyroid production. It helps thyroid. I mean, there's so many things that iodine does for us, but you have to start very, very slow, because you get bromine. If you've ever had, if you've ever had flour, like bread from a grocery store, or gone to a bakery and gotten a muffin, there's bromine. And bromine and iodine are so close that as you take that, even that 1 drop, your body will start to push out the bromine, which is a good thing. Because when your body takes that bromine and it creates thyroid hormones from bromine, a halide, that's not good. And so when you take the iodine, it is pushing that bromine out, and so that your body can produce thyroid hormones from iodine, not from bromine. But if you push it out too fast, you feel horrific and you actually decrease thyroid function. And so you have to go so slow. And so that's why I like seeing the pattern of people just starting with a drop a day to see how their body does with it. And you do that for a month and see how you are. And then if you're okay with that, then move to 2 drops a day for the second month. That creates such an easier pathway for your body and to help determine where you're at and how much you're needing. And you'll know once you get functional and feeling good with adding the iodine, and you add, and it's like, okay, this, this is making a difference. I feel good. I've had people say the tightness in my throat is gone, or the lump I feel like I always swallow around is gone, or my thyroid is converting better. Iodine helps that conversion. We have T4, which is the chill hormone, and then we have T3, which is like the Tigger hormone, and you need magnesium and iodine to help you convert that. So that iodine will actually help you convert your hormones more efficiently. And so even one drop, people will feel a difference. And then if you add the second drop, and you just don't feel as well, to back to the one drop. But realize when your body is pushing out those halides, bromine especially, you can feel lousy. And so, one of my favorite things to do if that's happened is to take some good salt and mix it in a little bit of water, just a pinch of salt, mix it in water and drink it. And within minutes, you will feel better because your body will take the minerals and the salt, attach it to the halides, and you'll let those go. And so then it's not dragging your thyroid down. And so that's really important to know. So let's say you're at 2 drops a month, Lisa, or yeah, Lisa, you're at 2 drops a month and you were feeling good with one, and two, you're a little tired in your limbs. Try drinking the salt water. And if that helps, continue on. If it doesn't, I would go back to just 1 drop. And so it's really a matter of just building that connection with your body. Oh, awesome. 3 to 4 Brazil nuts a day stored in the fridge. I keep mine in a great big huge mason jar right in the door. That way I can just reach in and grab them. And I don't like them for breakfast, Audra. When do you drink yours? And by the way, it's so good to see your name. When do you eat yours? I do mine with lunch. Some people love it in the morning. I don't like Brazil nuts in the morning. It is important to eat Brazil nuts with a little bit of fat from something else. You'll absorb the selenium better. Lisa, what type of salt? Sea salt. Yes, my favorite is Selena Naturally. Selena Naturally, the coarse salt. Now, the coarse salt is not a salt that you'll want to sprinkle on your food. You'll get this big chunk of salt, but it has the most minerals because every time you process salt, you lose the minerals. And that's what we want is the minerals from that salt. So I just get a little bag of coarse sea salt. I don't know where you live. There in Utah, you could even pick that up at Lee's Marketplace. So you don't even have to go to a health food store, and they'll have that sea salt, but not the fine grind. That's what you put at the table. You want the therapeutic coarse grind, and that's what you make your little salt drink if you start to feel tired after taking the iodine. And it's because you're releasing the bromine, which is good, but it's binding up your thyroid, and we don't want that. We want to protect that thyroid. I love the iodine that I sell. So I had it specifically manufactured. It's a balanced energy. There's the same amount at the front that there is at the end, and it's in glycerin because when you use iodine that's in alcohol, the alcohol degrades the iodine and you don't get the full benefit. And I personally have a couple of bottles for each person in case there were a nuclear anything that happened. So, for example, a couple of years ago, there was it? I can't remember the country, but their reactors started leaking, and we started seeing issues here in California. And iodine will protect you from that. And so, I always have a couple of bottles for each person. And I love the fact that it's not degrading because it has the alcohol in it. So I absolutely love the iodine that we carry. And you can use it on both pathways of your skin and orally. And it's also easy to give to children because the glycerin has a little bit of natural sweetness to it. And so it doesn't have that bitter burn of the alcohol. So I'm partial to it. I really like it. Oh, yes, that's great. But that's not going to give you the full benefit. I think it's so important to match up correctly your expectations for each thing that you're taking. And the Atlantic Dulce is excellent. It's not going to push out the bromines like iodine will. It doesn't have enough iodine in it to do that. And we all have halides. All of us have halides, especially if you ever drink colored drinks. Those have bromine in them, most of them, not all the colors, but they have bromine. If you've ever had flour from a store, a loaf of bread from the store, a muffin from the bakery, you've gotten bromine. Pajamas that we buy, they have to have a fire retardant on them, and that has bromine. And so if you don't wash those and you put those on your skin, you're uptaking that bromine. And so there's so many places that we get bromine from. And for me, because I also take some seaweed, I harvest it locally. I live here in Morro Bay, and went on a little tour of how to do it correctly. So I'm respectful to where it's growing and how to find it. And it was just fascinating. And I take that also, but that's not going to do what iodine will do for brain and detoxifying heavy metals. And iodine is so good at helping to get rid of heavy metals. So, yes, it's good. I want the full mantra, though, of what the whole food benefit and iodine along with it. I want everything. So for you, you need to determine, am I concerned about heavy metals? Do I need the full experience with iodine, or do I just want to take this food source? And so everybody has to determine, I want the full benefit of iodine. I want the brain cognitive benefit. I want the benefit for my skin. I want it all. And so I do both. And that combination is complete. It's a more complete way to take that iodine in for my goals. And so, Lisa, it's so important for you to determine your goals. What brand of iodine? I carry iodine. I couldn't find an iodine that met my specifications. And so I sourced it myself. And the lab that makes it specifically for me to my specifications, because the first batch they made, the glycerin was just a little bit too sticky to put on your skin. And so they put it in a different way at a different time during my batch processing, so you can use it on your skin and orally. And it is a little bit sticky. It's still doable though. Oh, okay, great. Awesome. That's a great time to add those. Oh, Lisa, please feel free to use K. My first name's Kristen, starts with a K. So use K20, and that's a one-time use code, and that will get you 20% off of everything in your cart except for my miracle tea, because it already has a discount. The more you buy, the better the price gets. So feel free to use that if you want to go grab some of my iodine. We are out of acerola, and we're working hard to bring a group by on that. The iodine you can put on your skin and take orally, yes. 1 drop every day for a month to see how you do with that. Iodine, you take low and slow, and you set your body up. You make sure your hydration is on. You've got a system that works. Whether it's a busy day in the home, a busy day out of your home, at the office, at school, you have a system that works all the ways for you to stay hydrated. You've got to have that. You've got to have your Brazil nuts 3 to 7 a day, depending on you. So Brazil nuts every day. That selenium is so important to protect your body as the iodine will start pushing out halides. You also need good salt. So you need to figure out where your salt intake is. And you also need good acerola cherry powder that has been grown properly and processed properly and still has the copper core. And once you've got those things into place, at that point, that's when I add the 1 drop of iodine every day for a month. And I don't even think about increasing it until month 2. And then remember, if the halides start to get pushed out and you are just exhausted and your brain is numb, drink some salt water and the halides will attach to the minerals and your body will release them. And it's incredible what iodine can do to turn your brain on. Um, One of the things I wish we were more educated as a society on the benefits of iodine for children because it turns your brain on. You're a better learner. You have better memory recall. You have a calmer brain with less anxiety. And it makes such a difference for children. Dr. Brownstein has done some incredible studies on the benefits of iodine for children. Oh, okay, let's talk. So Lisa has Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's, taking iodine orally, you can make it worse. And so this is something that you have to be so careful with. Taking it through your skin, it's not going to create the problem with your Hashis. Taking it orally, depending where you're at in your Hashi's journey of healing. If you're at the beginning or the middle, taking that iodine orally can make it worse. If you're starting to like, wow, I'm feeling a little bit better, I'm putting these puzzle pieces into place, that can actually, taking the iodine at that point can actually heal and help the Hashimoto's. But it depends on where you're at and that specific thing. Yes. Um, it also with Graves and hyperthyroidism, if you haven't put enough puzzle pieces together, taking it through your skin, we're good. Taking it orally, you can make it worse. And it's the same thing. Think of your journey as a beginning, middle, and end. If you're at the beginning and middle with hyperthyroidism, not hypo, but hyper, or Graves or Hashis, you can make it worse. And so those people that have that, stick with it on your skin and then put more puzzle pieces into place and get to the point where you're walking away from those side effects that those diseases cause. And at that point, you can start playing with it. And I've actually seen it heal those things. And it's a powerful tool. And when you bring magnesium and iodine together, it opens the receptor site. So think of insulin resistance. It's an issue at the receptor site. So when you add iodine and magnesium, you're opening those receptor sites. You are making sure, like my husband is someone who deals with chronic pain after amputation. And as what can happen with the pain receptor sites is they can get stuck open because he drains his magnesium so much because of the pain. If you're in chronic pain, you have a higher magnesium burn rate. And so then the magnesium is what closes the receptor site. And so someone who's in pain, it can just be that the receptor site hasn't closed to stop the signal to your brain. And so when you add magnesium and iodine and a person who struggles with pain, their receptor sites work more efficiently. Now, please, I am not saying that magnesium and iodine healed my husband's pain. I am not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing or prescribing, and it has not miraculously healed his pain. It's a game changer, though, for him to be able to keep his receptor sites functioning as they should. Now, we also have receptor sites with insulin resistance. We also have receptor sites with hormones. And so it's not just the pain receptor sites that benefit from the synergy of magnesium and iodine, it's our entire body that really gets that benefit. Oh, anxiety and brain fog. My endo says my blood levels are good and you don't take pharmaceutical medication. So do you have I just went blank. PCOS, Lisa? Because if you have PCOS, this next thing I'm going to talk about is not a good fit for you. People with brain fog, a lot of times it's coming from their gut. And the way that you can tell is to take some boron. Take some boron. And if your brain fog goes away, you know that it's an imbalance in your gut, that you've got a candida overgrowth. And that's a great way to tell if that's what's causing the brain fog, because brain fog can be brought on by different things. But taking that boron, for some people, it's just game changing to their brain fog. Other people, it doesn't do anything. And so adding that boron is such a pathway change, like, oh, I have brain fog because of this, or I have so Lisa, did it help with your brain fog when you were on boron? Like, I'll take boron. I had a little bit of an arthritis flare actually this morning, and I haven't had one for a while, and I hate that feeling of waking up feeling and so I went and took a little bit of boron and it was gone. So boron's really good for arthritis flare-ups too. And if it's not a good fit for everyone, though, boron is not a good fit for everyone. And you have to decide and determine, do the research, talk to your medical board of directors to determine if it's a good fit for you. Oh, sorry. I forgot to lock my standing desk. And so it started to go up on me. No, I don't sell the boron. There's two ways that you can take boron. One, you can go on Amazon and buy an ionic solution of boron and take it that way. I go to the cleaning aisle and buy a box of 20, I think it's 20 mule team, because that boron is mined from the earth. It's actually, I've been to the mine, I've been to the museum. My husband's like, I've never seen anyone geek out over boron museum because I was just asking a ton of questions. I think I drove the guy nuts, but it was fascinating to me. Boron is a mineral that's mined from the earth, and I'm completely comfortable taking it, but I'm not saying you should take it that way. It's the way I take it. I take a heaping teaspoon of that powder and I mix it in a quart of water, and that's my solution. And I take anywhere from 6 to 12 milligrams of that a day, with 1 teaspoon being 3 elemental grams of boron. So that's how I take it. I'm not recommending that to anyone else. You have to do your research on that one and make sure that you're comfortable with it. Oh, you started getting nauseous taking it. Did it ever help at all? So typically, and remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing you. I'm just sharing some thoughts for you to determine and put the puzzle pieces together. Typically, when that happens with boron, that nausea kicks in, we've got an imbalance in the gut. And so one thing that I take for my gut, because I've had that level of imbalance, is N-acetylcysteine, NAC. And it is so powerful. I love it. It increases my energy. It helps my gut, and it can really help break down the biofilms. And if you get nauseous after boron, typically that means you've got biofilms, and those biofilms are miserable and hard to get rid of. But N-acetylcysteine, it's an amino acid, is a great way to get on top of that. Oh, a moldy house, and that's when the sickness started. Oh gosh, that's a tough one. Yes, you can, but it's not going to give you the benefit that it does orally. So it will help the uptake of the magnesium when you add a little pinch of boron, but you're not getting the benefit of boron because the molecular structure of boron is too big to go through the skin. And so it's actually boosting the magnesium versus getting the boron uptake. And so to get the benefit of boron, it needs to go orally. Oh, thank you. Um, the I get sent in. People will report my posts, and I just want to be so clear on that. So I'll probably state it again to you, Lisa, and it's more just a reminder for everyone that I'm letting you know where my boundaries are and protecting the live from getting taken down because I want to keep that boundary really clear. I'm just here. So, you just exactly like what we've done today, Lisa. We've just had dialogue over health and what are you doing? This is what I'm doing. This is what I see working. Have you tried this? And I believe everyone realizes that they need to put those puzzle pieces together for what works for them. Some with everything that's happened the last few years, the area that I talk in on social media can get censored and triggered. And so I just keep reinforcing that boundary and just making sure. So if somebody new has jumped on in between you and I talking, that they hear me say that. So thank you so much. And I'm so grateful for you and the fact that you know and recognize that boundary, that I'm not saying, hey, go run, do this. I'm saying, hey, have you thought about this? And have you thought about doing it this way? And I saw it work this way, because I think conversations like that really help us to move forward and create optimal health. So thank you so much. It was great being here with you today. I go live on Facebook and YouTube every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, remember, that's ish. That's absolutely ish, because sometimes things come up. The one time I had nothing left to get on and talk about. I was like, I can't even think of what to say. I don't know what to talk about. And so I didn't get on that day. So there will be some days that I'm not here, but 4 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook and YouTube. I've loved having you here. And Lisa, oh, thank you, Lisa. I actually was just about to say, I would love to send Lisa, I'd love to send you a little gift from my home. It's in my personal stash. You can't buy it anymore on the website, but it's one of my very favorite products that's ever been created at Living the Good Life Naturally. And it's just my way of saying, Lisa, thank you for the back and forth conversation. It's a little bit of a struggle to come on and not have that conversation. And so I just so appreciate, and I realized I need to say thank you to the people that are leaving comments and interacting, because that makes it easier to come on, and that gives me ideas of where we can go and what we can talk about that will really make a difference for women. And that's what Living the Good Life Naturally is all about. I'm about helping women wake up in the morning feeling good, because when a woman feels good in the morning, she is going to create in her part of the world a better space, and that benefits children. And that is my push and drive, and has been. My husband called me this morning and said, do you realize you've been talking magnesium for 23 years and I'm still just as passionate about it, and I'm still doing it for the same reason? They tell you, be the person that you wish you had in your life as a kid. And I wish I would have had an adult that recognized what the trauma that was happening in my life, and they could have stopped it. And my life would have taken a completely different pathway. And so I want to be that person. I want to help women feel stronger, because immediately it's a feminine attribute, and men do it too. I don't mean they don't. I focus with women. It's a feminine attribute that we just naturally want to do more. And when you have the ability to do that and you feel good and you're not draining your reserves, you're making your corner of the world better. And when we have women like that, we show up for children and we make the world better for them. And that's my goal, and that's what pushes me. And sometimes I think people I had somebody say, well, you just want everybody soaking every day. Absolutely not. No, I want you feeling good and out there changing your corner of the world and making it better, because my grandkids might be in your corner of the world, and I want it to be a spectacular experience for them. And so it's not that I want you soaking in magnesium every day. I want you figuring out how to achieve cell saturation easily, efficiently, know how often you need to soak, so you're out there feeling good, making those changes and living those dreams and tapping into your natural gifts. Because when you do that, it always changes the life of a child. In some way, there's some connection that it will enrich the life of a child. Oh, you're so welcome. If you would message me, the company, on send a message, first and last name, and then your address, and I'll get it out to you. I'm a gift link. My love language is gifts. So, oh, you're very kind. Yes, you want them. Now, if you can't find them, someone who stored them in a cooler, go for the ones on the shelf. But the ones in the cooler have more selenium. The ones in the cooler have more. Oh, I'm Teresa. Yes, absolutely. Is there a place to re-listen to this live? Natalie, it's so good. I can see your face in the picture. It's so good. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, that clap probably like went right in the mic. Sorry about that. I forget to pull my mic out. Um, yes, this live stays up on Facebook, and you can go to videos, and it also stays up on YouTube. And every once in a while we pull them over to the blog. But absolutely, absolutely on YouTube. I think it's a little easier to find on YouTube than Facebook. Excuse me. But on Facebook, you can go to the video and you can see all the lives. And for example, there was one live, I don't know why I did this. I got super personal, like shared something very personal, and I got super teary. I'm debating whether to take that one down. I have had people reach out and say, Kristen, it really helped me because of this. And so I'm like, do I leave it up? Do I take it down? Because I feel a little vulnerable having that level of my heart out in the world on social media. But yes, you can find them. Oh, love you back. I love seeing your face on your profile picture. Love it. It was great being with you. My name is Kristen. I'm the founder of Living the Good Life Naturally, a magnesium advocate, passionate about magnesium. I do want to share this with you. We're having a sale that's coming up. It'll start either tonight or early in the morning. I am about to run out of magnesium, which has never happened in 22 years. In the history of the company, I have never run out of magnesium. And so I opted, because that's not acceptable. So I opted to ship it, Anyway, I've got more magnesium coming than I've ever had come, and I've got to move some things. And I thought, oh, Mother's Day is coming, and women, whether you're a mom or not, women love tools that benefit their skin, that benefit their joints, that increase their gut health. So collagen is going to be 50% off. You heard me. 50% off. Basically, it's only while supplies last. I've got to move stuff to make room because we ordered more magnesium than we ever have. And so if I can move all of that collagen, then I'll have space for the magnesium that we like airlifted or flighted or something. And so that will be on sale. Our lip balms will be on sale. We'll have some acerola up. We've been out of that for a bit. That will be up and we'll be in like a group buy situation. Anyway, so that's coming up. Check that out. It might even be like within the next 30 minutes, but it's only on the collagen. It's only while supplies last. And I only have, gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this only. I used to not sell this much in a year. I only have about 800 left, and we sell that every couple of days. And so it sounds like a lot, but the rate that they move, it's not a lot. And so on that collagen, once it's sold, it's done. The sale on that part will be done. Will be done. So good to be with you, though. Oh, Natalie. I hope so. I hope so because that facial cream, it just doesn't get any better than that facial cream and the omega-3 complex that it had. So I hope so. We're needing more warehouse space, and we just moved into this. We just moved in to another one like 3 or 4 months or 5 months ago, and so I hope so. I'd like to be able to get to the point where I have a warehouse that will fit me for just a couple of months, but that I could, that's just massive gargantuan. Um, I don't know if we build, I don't know. It's those puzzle pieces. And so, yes, absolutely. As soon as we have space, I've tapped back into a supplier. We are running group buys on them. And so you buy it and then we make it and send it to you. And we do have one of those coming up. I believe it's in June. I believe that's in June that we're doing that group buy on that one. And then I'll just say, hey, if you want to buy it, tell us how much you want, pay for it. And then we make it and we'll send it to you because my skin took such a dive not having that facial cream. I love that facial cream. Um, I know I'm with you. I miss it so much. The sale on collagen, collagen is good for your skin, it's good for your gut health, it's good for your joints. It's just all around powerhouse. It it I've got to connect with my daughter and then it will go on. So it might definitely by morning it will be, and it might even go tonight. And so you'll just have to keep an eye, but make sure you hit refresh because sometimes if you've been to the website, you'll get an old browser and you'll be like, the sale's not happening when actually it's almost sold out. So make sure you hit refresh on that page. And hopefully I will be able to connect with my daughter and connect a couple things, and then that sale will go live. And there will be lip balm and really good price on lip balm. I think it's like half price too, maybe not quite half, but a really good sale on lip balms and the collagen. So you've never taken, Lisa? You will love collagen. Collagen is one of those things that helps so many areas of your body, your gut, your brain fog. I'm not saying take collagen, brain fog will be gone, but take collagen, build your gut, and walk away from the brain fog. And it will help. Now, brain fog can also be from low progesterone. And so, but collagen also helps hormones. And so it's one of those things that it's building that strong foundation, and it's just so easy to get in. I think it's just, you mix it in and drink it and boom, you're done. So it was so great being with you. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I'll do my best to show up every day. There might be a couple days that I don't make it, but I'll do my best to be here every day. And I love talking with you today. Thanks. See ya. Oh, let's see this one. Also wondering if there is a link to psoriasis eczema that started with weight gain. Dermatologist wants to put me on steroids and Enbrel. My gut tells me not to take it, so I haven't. So Teresa, I know you probably know this, but I just have to make this disclaimer that I'm not a doctor and it's not my role to tell you what to do or anything. We're just having a discussion so we all can ask better questions, so that we're making better decisions, so that we wake up in the morning feeling great, so that the life of a child improves, because that's just how it happens. So psoriasis and eczema, how about this? Tomorrow, because it helps me so much to have a specific topic that I know someone's asked a question versus just, oh, what should I talk about? So tomorrow on my live, I'm going to talk about the link of psoriasis and eczema and some things that might help if you put them in place. At the same time, never telling you what pathway is the best for you. But you did just help me come up with tomorrow's topic, and it will be on psoriasis and eczema specifically here on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, I think, at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll start right at 4 and we'll just talk psoriasis and eczema, some layers that you can add that for some people it will go away and for other people it improves. And then you can make the best decision for you. You can talk to your medical team and determine, is this a good thing for me? Because it's very important that it comes across. I'm not diagnosing or telling you what to do, because that would be inappropriate. But we can talk psoriasis and eczema, and I'm pretty passionate about it. And there's some layers that you can put into place. Oh, yes. No, put it out there. I just I was telling Lisa this earlier. I will constantly repeat, I'm not a doctor, not prescribing, not diagnosing, because think about it. If you and I were talking and then somebody comes on and they didn't hear that part, I need to say it again. And so it's really important that, because I so appreciate when people share the videos. If they've found value in it, if they share it, because that helps put it out, because of the whole health thing that's happened for the last couple of years. If I'm talking a health topic, they sometimes won't show it to people, and it's there, but it doesn't get put out. And so I'm always so grateful to those people who share. And I love having conversations, and I love the way that you put it out there. I appreciate it, because now my brain's turning. I'm going to go take some notes. I'm going to go to my journals. I keep extensive journals on things that I've learned. My kids will not even want them. So this sounds so morbid. When I die, somebody run to my house and say, "Hey, we want those journals." Because it's 23 years of patterns and what's happened and what I've seen in health and what's worked and what hasn't worked. And so somebody grab my journals. I don't think my kids will want them, and they're everywhere. It's the moleskin ones. They're different colors for each year. I love moleskin journals, but grab my moleskins. But I know right where I'll go tap into some things. I did a whole intensive with people on psoriasis and eczema. So you put it out there beautifully. I will continually repeat that to protect myself and just to remind people, I'm not a doctor, don't have a white coat, never will have a white coat. We're here to ask good questions of each other and increase our ability to ask better questions, because healthy women ask powerful questions, and that helps you to get feeling better faster. Oh, you're so welcome, Lisa. You're very welcome. Oh my gosh. They there are so many. That's why I switched to moleskin because moleskins stack really nice and they've got the pocket. Let's see if it's by my I was in on the couch taking notes from a class I was taking online. I've there's a little pocket in the moleskins and I can put my tabs in there. So if I start a topic that I'm like, oh, this topic's really important, I'll put a tab on and then write what it is. And then it just stacks. And I think they're called bankers boxes, just those square cardboard boxes. They're just full. Journal after journal after journal. I probably go through between 6 to 8 moleskins a year. And so I've been doing this for 23 years. I didn't start in the beginning with moleskins. I wish I would have. I wish because some of the ink is gone. Moleskins are just such quality journals and they're just clean and classic and beautifully made. But yeah, I have a lot of journals. I hope somebody wants them. I don't think my kids will. Oh, you're so welcome. It was so nice having you here. I so appreciate the interaction. You literally help me with that interaction instead of just like, okay, what do I say now? Because I can't see, I can't tell. Do they like this? Are they leaning in? Is this? Anyway, so thank you so much for your comments. I love being with you today. Remember, healthy women ask powerful questions. That's a principle that if you want to live at the highest health that you can, you will ask powerful questions. And on Fridays, I do Friday favorites and I just share random products on my Friday favorites. And I'm a thrifter, massive thrifter. It's like a treasure hunt to me and a dopamine hit. About 98% of what I wear is thrifted. My jewelry, my Apple Watch wasn't, but like even all my jewelry is thrifted, my ear, everything. My glasses aren't. I buy these from Caddis. But if you're interested in my approach to thrifting and my docent work with elephant seals and some of the things that I look for when I'm thrifting. And if you're into that, I'd love for you to follow me over on Instagram at that docent life. And it's like my sea glass collecting and my docent work with the elephant seals and my thrifting and certain brands that I look for and techniques that I use. And I'd love to have you join me over there. In fact, I'm about to do a live on what I found today because I have to show someone because it was so amazing. So, oh, you're so welcome. But I'd love to have you follow me over there and we can have discussion about all the things thrifted, all the glorious benefits of that. So if you're into that, follow me at that docent life. But I've only got that on Instagram. That's the only place that I do that. But I am about to go over there and do a live on the haul on a thing that I found today that just gave me dopamine unlike anything else I've ever found. And I've just got to share it with somebody. My husband did a really nice, oh, yeah. But he didn't get it. And I need to hang out with people who get it. Oh, you're Teresa, that's incredibly kind. My desire is to come on and be linear so it's easier for people to follow. And one of the things that I am open to learning is not squirreling so much. Like, oh, this reminds me of that because I know it's hard for people to follow me. So that is incredibly kind. And my goal is that it makes a difference. Because when you make a difference for women and they step into their health, which means they're also comfortable stepping into their power, they make the world a better place for children. And the first step to that is soaking in magnesium and activating our vitamin D. And a lot of times I kind of held back on the why of what I do. And I realized I, people need to know the why of what I do. They need to see why I started and what drives me and why I'm going the direction that I'm going and why I do the things that I do. Because I think healthy women need to clarify their why. And I've it was clear to me, but I was almost uncomfortable talking about it with other people. Like, I don't know, things would come up in my head like, oh, what makes you think you can make a difference in the world? What makes you think, just stuff like that. And so I I wanted my goal is that I create more clarity about my vision and why I started living the good life naturally 23 years ago and why I do what I do so that people recognize it is magnesium. That's the foundation. It's what I'm passionate about, and I'm even more passionate about it 23 years later. And I wish I had pictures. We used to fill it in my driveway, and we'd get the neighborhood kids to help us. I wish I had pictures of that and we'd get 1 cubic container, and now we order 20 like every 2 weeks. And I wish I could help people, not wish. I want to help people understand the why behind what I do, because as we clarify our whys and share them with each other, we are stepping into our power. And I was hiding a little bit. I was like, oh, and when we do that, we have a higher magnesium burn rate. When we're not sharing our why, I don't know why I felt so fearful to do that, but I did. And I've started doing it a little bit more lately, and I was just shaking. Like, what makes you think you can make a difference? You're acting too big for your britches. Something my dad used to say to me would come up. And when you have a strong voice, you have better thyroid function. When you're standing in a powerful place, you have better thyroid function. You have a lower magnesium burn rate, meaning you don't need to soak in magnesium as often because you're standing in your power. You're comfortable with your power, and therefore you're holding on to your minerals. It all goes hand in hand. And so I will be talking a little bit more about the why of why I do what I do. And hopefully maybe somebody else will clarify their why. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do those things? And when you clarify that why, it makes the journey and pathway shorter. So I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm so grateful, Teresa, that you gave me my topic, because that makes it so much easier for me to show up and talk because you of that question. So thank you for asking powerful questions. And hopefully tomorrow I will give some powerful ideas and thoughts back to you. That will be my goal for tomorrow. And I will be working on it for the next 24 hours. And then I will share with you 4 p.m. Pacific time, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll see you then. Bye bye, guys.